Ladies and gentlemen, live from the WCRD studios at Ball State University, it's live from Letterman!
Hey, son.
And good evening, Muncie. My name is Logan Browning, and you are listening to Live from Letterman right here on WCRD 91.3. Always better radio. And wow, for the first broadcast with headphones here, it sounds so weird.
It does? I can't hear anything.
Well, see, that's weird because now I can't hear you. This is weird.
Oh, no.
What is happening here? Yeah, the levels are all weird, but then we try to turn it up and we export it, and it gets funky. Anyways, you know what? We're here. This is what we're rocking with, and we'll just roll with the punches. It's almost as if this is the equipment of a public access student radio station in the heart of the home of the drug crocodile, good old Muncie, Indiana. Yeah, let me go ahead and take this moment here. Introduce my co-host, Mr. Jonathan Page. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm breathing. I'm here.
Okay, well, that's better than not.
I know, I'm about to say, like, hey, I'm alive.
You are certainly alive. There we go. Johnny, it's been another year in the books. How are we feeling? How was your Halloween?
It was fun, actually. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I didn't really do anything. On Halloween, I didn't really do anything.
Just around it. What'd you do to celebrate this season?
I went and hung out with a friend up at Purdue. It was a good time. Got to see some people I hadn't seen in a while. Got to see George.
Who we've mentioned many of time on the show.
And no one knows who he is.
No. Nor should they.
Yeah, no, I got to see some friends and watch some scary movies. Watch that Barbarian movie. And
Oh, how was that?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. There were some parts that were freaky to it. There were some other parts where, like, when the movie was over, I legitimately looked at everyone like, why was it called Barbarian?
Well, no, the only reason I asked that is, believe it or not, I think it's because it went up on HBO. But the amount of people in my classes, like friends and stuff, who've told me, like, oh my God, did you watch Barbarian yet? And it's like, it's Justin Long, right?
He's one of the characters.
Okay, so because, like, that's
exciting.
exciting.
There's a couple of characters in it. He's one of the main ones.
Yeah, okay, that's good, because I love Justin Long.
He's actually very good in this.
So I'm excited.
Yes, he's very good in this in the movie. I would like it's not like the movie was great. I thought it was awesome. I still don't know why it's called Barbarian. No one could explain it to me. There were a few parts where
Were their actions barbaric?
Well, no. There's nothing even barbaric about it. Well, I guess maybe.
Well, maybe it's supposed to be, and you just learned something about yourself.
They
like maybe you learned that you're.
Named it something like normal.
Well, that would be a dumb title. Something like normal. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know.
Well, do I?
Probably not.
No. So you went to Purdue.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Did you? So you went to a party.
I did.
Saw some movies. Saw some friends.
Yeah.
There you go. Did you do anything else to celebrate the?
We went and got some like food at some of these other restaurants that were like kind of central to Purdue because my girlfriend had never been to Purdue before.
So did you do like Triple X?
Yeah, we went to Triple X.
Did you do Bruno's?
We didn't do Bruno's. We did a place called Guac Box, which is basically they get a pizza box and they just fill it with nachos with guacamole. It was delicious. However, the service for both of those restaurants was the absolute worst. They were terrible, and they're usually like every time we leave the restaurant, my friend would be like, you know, usually they're not this bad. I don't know what's wrong with them. I was like, I don't know either, bro.
You're like, I don't know. It's Halloween weekend. Everyone's hungover. Everyone's anticipating for work to be over.
I figure that's the issue. I figure like it's a college town. You're gonna have the worst people.
But a college town, like Guy Fieri has done an episode of Drive Dine-ins. What is it?
I don't know. It was on the Food Network.
Diners, Dives, Drive-ins. Kinsey, do you know?
It should be drive-ins, diners, drive. What?
Guy Fieri had a TV show on the Food Network, and he went to Purdue.
He went there. I ate the. This is gonna sound weird. I ate the burger with peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
It was actually delicious.
Drive-ins, diners, and dives.
Thank you. Drive-ins, diners, and dives.
Great show, by the way.
Fun show.
Just
I do
can't
enjoy
remember
this
the
show.
name.
We all did it, just in reverse order there in a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had that therapeutic experience. I have yet to try the peanut butter, but that was me last summer with a burger that had like a scrambled egg on it.
Yeah.
Not a scrambled egg, fried egg.
Fried egg. Yeah.
Where you like pop the yolk and it goes like, yeah.
But no, it was very good. Had a good time. Yeah.
They were good. Nice. Beats my own plans. We a couple weeks ago went to a little costume
You went
thing.
to a costume party. So.
Yeah, that was
You just did
fun. My girlfriend and I, we did Bob and Linda from Bob's Burgers. That
Yes.
was entertaining. And then this past weekend, we didn't do anything because I had to work all weekend. But then Monday, on actual Halloween, we went to Zubu at the zoo.
Oh yeah.
The little Halloween thing. Because, I don't know, she's like a member pass holder, so we got to go for free. So
to make it scary, did they just like release the predatory animals and be like,
no, but they should have. They had people dressed like the Coco people. Because it was like Day of the Dead or something.
Yeah. Well,
and,
was it Day of the Dead?
yeah. Well, isn't that today's the Day of the Dead? Or is that Cinco de Mayo?
All I know is on the Google thing, it's got all the skulls on the Google.
Yeah, I think today's Day of the Dead.
Like, wait, is it Day?
I think it's Day of the Dead, and I now learned how racially insensitive our broadcast is.
If you have a complaint, please correct us.
If you have a complaint, please feel free to message us. Never.
Message us and we just
don't.
respond.
Yeah.
Leave unread.
Or look at it, or give you our contact information. But yeah, then at night, then we did a shadow cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Good.
All that means is it was they started showing it at midnight. Never been to one, had no idea what it was, and it was they like showed the movie, but then also acted out the movie on stage, like in full costumes and stuff, and like
Were people throwing stuff at the screen.
throwing stuff at the screen. They heckled it. Like it was like a live Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, because I know that
Strictly
they do
for
that.
Rocky Horror.
They do that a lot for Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I didn't know that they did like parts of it like live. I didn't know about that. I
Yeah.
knew that people would throw things. Because I remember my parents. I think my parents had been on before, and they also like, chuck things at the screen.
Yeah, no, I mean it was fun. I don't know if I would do it again anytime soon. Like it'd
So
be
once-
like
once,
maybe
okay,
once in a while.
I
Like
filled my cup. I'm
like
good.
if you're at Halloween and someone's like, "Oh, I've never been to one of those," you're like, "Oh, well, I mean, there's one happening." But I don't know. The kid though, who was Ball State's Tim Curry, Frankenfurter,
Very good.
giving the dude props.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like his facial structure was just very Tim Curry, which is
Perfect, yeah.
for some people unfortunate.
For him, it worked out in his favor, though.
Yes, in this case, it worked out pretty well for him. He can be Tim Curry in that one episode of Psych when he was the fake Simon Cowell on their fake. It was called American Duos on American Idol. Great episode, by the way. But yeah, we did that. Got scarred for life.
Do you see a lot of men in fishnets?
Yes.
I bet.
Yes. I will say these people sitting behind us, though, they should be running this show. Funniest people in the world. They were hilarious. I think this is probably one, not their first go around of it.
I would assume.
But then two, I like to think that they probably definitely watched the movie in preparation and wrote jokes to scream, but they were hilarious.
Do you think all year they practice material off of each other, and then when they finally get to this time, this is like their Christmas?
Yes.
They're like, I'm ready to roll.
I think it was like I now understood what Noblesville's purpose of the world was, and it's to produce people to go to a Rocky Horror Shadow cast, and it paid off for once. For once, it paid off.
Good.
But overall, it was definitely a memorable Halloween for
Yeah.
the good and the worst.
You guys will be able to tell your children about it.
Yeah, well, and drag them to it. But yeah, cool. Well, hey, it's Halloween. We're surviving the week after, barely. I know you just got slammed with assignments today.
I did.
I also got slammed with a bunch of assignments.
It's not been fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining.
It's that time of the year. It's November. Teachers are scrambling to get their classes done, and then they want to get you right into finals, and then they want you to get off campus.
Exactly, and today has been the day of like having the moral dilemma of, do I try to get someone to cover my shift at work because I have to film something this weekend for class, or do I try to switch shifts, or do I just take the L, or do I just wear a body cam at the car wash? Caught Muncie day in the life. See all the psychos that pull
You
through.
probably. I know that you could say it's a modern art piece. And
It's a modern art
and
piece.
Just do that, and then when you get the weird, mogul. What is it? They call moguls. What is it?
You've called them moguls. I just call them Muncie people.
Okay. Whenever a weird Muncie man walks up to you and is doing his Muncie thing, just submit that and be like, "This is about our society."
Well, the one guy I do want to do something on, he comes in. So all of our detergent and stuff comes in giant barrels.
Does he take some of it?
He takes the barrels. We have to put them in our trash bin area, our bullpen kind of thing.
Is he building a fort?
I don't know. So My suspected reason was drugs.
Probably.
But
he's like Walter White.
like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You need to take the buckets to like dissolve bodies.
That's what I'm
Oh my
thinking, or
gosh.
make meth. But I think one of our managers asked him. He goes, no. He runs or he fixes up cars, and that's to put oil and stuff in. And I was like, okay, but he comes in every day.
I can't be fixing that many cars.
No, and I'm confused.
I think what he's doing is he is mixing these barrels with car parts to make
Those little white things that drive around campus now and deliver food?
No.
His own version of those?
I think he's making a gigantic barrel mech and will take over Muncie.
It'd be like, who is that guy that, remember, tricked out that bulldozer and, started wrecking that town? Yeah. That's what's about that. Muncie would.
I feel like if there was a town that would have another killdozer, it definitely would be Muncie.
It would be. I'm surprised we haven't.
I would be.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Someone does.
Someone might be building one.
Or the wrong person is listening right now, and they're like, that's a good idea.
That's a real good idea. Thanks, John. He's going to write on the note, John and Logan told me to do this. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Bold of you to assume they put your name first.
Okay. Well, Logan and John, you're the host. You're the host.
No, I'm kidding. No, I think literally on all of our advertisement for this, it does say John and Logan. Your name just look alphabetically. You come first.
Do I? Oh, I do. I don't know the alphabet. My bad.
That was education.
It takes me so long to write papers. I don't know the alphabet.
Hey, Helen Keller wrote books, and she didn't know the alphabet.
She also flew a plane. She didn't fly a plane. I'm kidding. I just hear every time I see TikTok, someone's like, "Did you know that Helen Keller flew a plane?" I'm like,
that was Amelia Earhart.
That's the wrong woman. Why does everyone?
No wonder she disappeared over the ocean.
Oh my god!
She couldn't hear that there was an engine failure.
She's like, was she blind too?
Helen Keller?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was deaf, dumb, and blind.
She wasn't dumb. She wrote a book.
Is this called deaf? I don't know. Don't look at me. I didn't invent the 1900s.
Well, no wonder she crashed her plane. She couldn't see or hear. She probably just thought she was floating.
Yeah, she's also a myth. But I think that's a pretty good stopping point.
Sure.
To transition both into a fellow Noblesville graduate and also someone who believes Helen Keller is a myth. A couple episodes ago, we had John Page's brother on, and I had to show him up.
Yeah.
So John brought on his younger brother. So today I'm going to bring on one of my older sisters. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kinsey Browning.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Kinsey. Now, you're good right there. Surprisingly, your mic is very hot. And
it's because I have a voice for radio.
Yeah, there we go. And a face for it. We all do. We share the same face, and it's unfortunate. Hi. Thank you for driving up to be on this thing. Were you excited?
Yes, I was excited to be able to talk about myself, but it is pretty late for my liking.
Okay.
I love the long pause.
Yeah, I was excited. Spoke volumes as someone who I know has listened to every episode of our show.
Haven't listened to one.
Exactly.
I'm a podcast person, not a radio person.
This is basically a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, when we post it
When it
afterwards,
goes on
it's
YouTube, it
basically
becomes a podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a podcast of 0 people listen to it live, so.
Oh my god!
Incorrect. Currently, there are, pausing for dramatic effect, there are currently
4 people.
10 listeners.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we
I don't have
average
any
like
comments.
30 views on our videos. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm surprised it took us this long to get to this point. I thought that was gonna happen a whole lot earlier. I thought comments would be flying out during the intro.
From me,
Yes,
you
from
told me
me,
to stay
yes, from
quiet during the intro.
I did?
Yeah, you said this is when John and I talk.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess I do say that.
This is off to a great start.
This is. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is how I thought it was gonna go. Well, okay. Now that I opened it up, Kinsey, participate through the whole rest of the episode if you'd like to.
Okay.
We'd love to have you. But yes, hi. Okay, cool. Kinsey, you mark one of the very few oddly female appearances on the show. We're a big sausage fest. Who knew media school was nothing but a bunch of
Dudes.
sad, sweaty men, which is why I fit in. But you're also our first postgraduate
Yes.
You
yeah.
are.
I did it.
You did it. You graduated. Where'd you graduate from?
I graduated from IU.
Okay. I got assaulted by Charlie the Cardinal for wearing an IU sweatshirt. I'm 99% sure you got
That assault was justified. I watched the video.
Wait, there's a video?
There is a video. It's on
You didn't know
Twitter.
there was a video. You said it just happened.
Well, because everyone else got free merch at the end of their assault. I didn't. I got like spit on and they insulted my mother. Like, it was, that's about all we got. And I'm only in it for like 2 seconds. So, yeah. But yes, postgraduate, what was your major?
I majored in public relations with a concentration in sports journalism and then a minor in sport marketing and management.
Ooh.
Okay, are you ready to fully just go full disappointment in me?
Okay.
I did not know that at all.
I don't know what you're majoring in.
That's fair. I've been telling people, John's now realizing how close our family are. I'm now, like, I don't know why I always thought you also were in, like, sports broadcasting. Like, I thought that's what your major
Well,
was.
I specialize in sports journalism.
Right.
Journalism isn't just paper and pen. You know that, right?
I am well aware.
Sport journalism is all mediums,
Yes,
including
well,
this one.
I thought you were focused on broadcasting because most of, like, your curriculars, pardon me, in both high school and then even some at IU, they all were involved in some sort of telecommunications.
That is true.
So I thought we shared that media connection there.
We do.
Apparently not.
But I'm now realizing that this may have been a grave mistake.
I don't know what you're talking about. I took all the video classes. I just am a better writer than probably most, especially in this room. So I definitely did PR from the writing aspect as well.
I'm a writing minor, ma'am.
You have to have a minor in it because you have to be taught how to do it. I didn't have to be taught, so I just am good at it.
Oh I can feel the love in here. Especially between you two. Oh my gosh.
John, you're not so. You've been around us for like
No,
9
I have.
years now.
I figured it.
Yeah, John, we hang out all the time.
You've
Oh,
seen-
wait.
I mean, I've been around you fairly before. I figured this is probably the way this is going to go.
Say you know how this family dynamic works.
Well, I like how I bring my brother on. Is it's like we talk about football and stuff, and then like the first thing he brings his sister on, it's like nobody listens to your show.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
My
I
mom,
mean-
before I came in here, was like, don't embarrass your brother.
She's like, don't embarrass them. He already does that to himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't need any help. He doesn't like help. Okay, so question I like to ask everyone after they tell us their major, why?
I liked PR because one of my high school teachers, his husband was Andrew Luck's PR guy, and I thought that was super sweet, and so I want to do something like that. Turns out it's hard to get a job in sport PR, so that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
It's not doing that.
I've said this on several occasions that in the sports world, all of my teachers have said, like, if you want a job in the sports world, you are not going to get that. You need to work for.
No, you will, John, but you'll make $20,000 a
I
year.
know, like,
So.
well, especially like they're saying like in like
This
pro
is the
sports and
optimistic
stuff,
episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, it's tough. The sports world's very, very competitive. Shocker, but there's at every level of it is extremely competitive. You just kind of have to go with wherever your best shot is.
As a fellow person in a competitive field, I understand.
Yeah. Is there so you wanted to do like for a particular player? You didn't want to just do like an organization?
Nope, I would in an organization as well.
You would have okay.
Yeah.
Did you have like any specific organizations in mind, or just any?
Well, like John said, you kind of have to take what you get. I wanted
Right.
to stay close. I'm not a big adventurous person, so I wasn't really super willing to move somewhere, but I would have stayed in the Midwest. But at the end of the day, I can stay at my apartment and work from home and not the sport world and get paid a lot more. So that's where we are for now. One day I hope to get back into sports, but not today.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I know you've specifically pointed out that you would not like to disclose company, but so you're a project manager?
Yep.
Yeah, so what exactly do you get to do with that? Because I know at one point you did something with like recruiting football
Yep.
and a bunch of stuff.
That's
and-
not the same job, but
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I used to work
I've
at
had like 80 in a month. I get
in a
lost.
month. When I first graduated college, I worked for USA Football. Loved it. My favorite job to this day. But COVID kind of ended that. It was my internship. And then now I do project management for a healthcare pharma advertising company. So basically,
very cool.
I manage like the budget, the timelines, and all the project work streams to make sure everything gets done. Like social media posts, websites,
Yeah.
Okay.
all that stuff.
So more like multimedia.
Yep. Yeah.
This happens to be the multimedia segment.
Yeah.
Last week was multimedia. You know, for someone who didn't know what multimedia was until
We're
like
definitely getting a crash course.
we're this is John Green with Crash Course in History or whatever it is. We're getting it all through.
They probably have a crash course multimedia now at this point. They've got
Is there a
some-
third brother?
There's there's Hank and there's John.
Yeah, and then there's Sal Green, and then
Sal Green. I run a deli in New Jersey.
and this is a crash course
This
through
is
my
a crash
subway.
course on salami. I do the meats.
Sal Green, we had the
We
meats.
had the meats. You just got, like some restaurants, they have like photos of like weird celebrities that wandered into their shop.
Yeah.
Just like, can I take a photo with you, please? You walked into my falafel shop.
It's like Brad Pitt with like a ranch
Brad
on his
Pitt,
chin.
He's
He's
like, yeah, sure. So he's got just Hank and his brother John. There's like, oh, look, I know them. Look.
It's like there's this podcast I listen to called Those Conspiracy Guys. They're mad entertaining just because they're just a bunch of drunk Irish guys
Oh, great.
who just rant about random stuff. But they, oddly enough, conspiracies. Never would have guessed. But they have this bit that I love that they were talking about how there's a third Hemsworth that everyone forgets about.
There is, though.
Yeah, I was
There
gonna say there is.
Yeah.
He does all the Old Spice commercials, and he's in Thor. as
Yeah,
the,
and
the
so
fake Thor.
they were saying that there's him, and they're like, he has some like super thick like redneck accent, like he's not even like Australian. He goes, it's me, Herbie Hemsworth.
So
He's like, Kevin Fiji, want to make a movie about me?
this is a little off topic, but I wanted. So I have you seen in the news recently about all the Kyrie Irving Brooklyn Nets stuff that's been going on?
Yes, kinda. I've been seeing a little bit on Twitter, but haven't been seeing up to
So,
date.
I didn't
John's like,
know-
finally a Browning I can talk to.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were, if you knew, but currently the Nets are hiring a
They're-
PR manager.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So you
I go
want
work
to
with the
pass-
Celtics coach that's about to get hired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
not-
seems like a good working
not a great
relationship.
situation,
That would-
but-
For everyone that knows that situation, which Logan doesn't, it's over his head right now.
I'll give you. So basically, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't either. That's why I didn't say his name.
He's the head coach of the Celtics. He's currently been suspended from the team because he had a inappropriate relationship with a staff member. He is married. And he
Is this the Try Guys? What happened?
and I can't tell. I believe that they said that it was all consensual and everything. I'm not entirely sure about that.
But still a higher ranking
But
position.
it's the fact that he-
There's definitely more of the story.
there's more to it.
Yeah.
But he basically was suspended for the year by the Celtics, and currently I think I don't know how it's going to happen, but he's like resigning, and he's going to go join the Nets, who just fired their head coach Steve Nash. So, yeah.
It's right over Logan's head.
So, watch it, man. That's a
And
very big head. Not a lot of things get over it.
I'll get to it with my sports stories, but there's also been some other stuff that has happened in the last couple months. So whoever's been working the PR for the Nets, I guess quit because they couldn't take it anymore because it was quite.
Well, there we go, Kinsey. Right up your alley.
Yeah.
There you go. If you want to get your start.
Yeah, you can
Go work in Brooklyn with Kyrie.
in Brooklyn. There
That's
we go.
what I want to do.
Pay $3,000.
I was gonna pay $30,000
$30,000 a month for a 2x4 apartment.
Yep.
Exactly. That's how we love it. Yeah, nice. There we go. Brooklyn. I could see you. I don't know
Good
if I can see, I don't know if
transition,
I can see. I don't know if I can see you in Brooklyn. I can see you in New Jersey though.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think it's because I associate you watching the
With
Jersey.
trash?
Listen, you said it. I did. No, I was saying because you are like the only person in the world I know who's ever actually watched the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, you hang out with the wrong people, Logan. Everyone's watched the Jersey Shore.
But I think Snooki because I think it's small. And
Why was
you were also small. What's up?
Why was her name Snooki? This is off topic.
Her name's Nicole. Her nickname's Snooki.
I don't think I want.
I actually just restarted the Jersey Shore,
That's the
so
worst nickname you could get.
But Brooklyn is like New York's New Jersey. So even
I
though
don't
they're-
think people that live in Brooklyn would agree with that.
No, they wouldn't.
But sure.
But I can go though. Brooklyn's my favorite hockey team, the Islanders.
Logan's big sports guy.
He's a big hockey guy. He knows about hockey.
Medium hockey guy.
Medium hockey. More than me.
I like the fights.
More than me.
There we go.
So,
Like I
More
said,
than me
I
as
bought NHL 19.
yeah.
And I learned how to pick fights, and that's all. I don't think I've scored a single goal in the game, but I've picked enough fights.
I have an old NES game called Blades of Steel, where if you can fight.
Is that like a ninja game?
No. So
Is it a sequel to Blades of Glory?
It's literally a hockey game. You pick your team. You pick, either Chicago, Vancouver, St. Louis, and you play hockey. It's extremely hard to play because it's on a Nintendo.
Yeah.
But if you take the guy that you're playing and the other guy and you bump into him 3 times, they get into a fighting animation. And if it isn't decided in the tiny fight animation, it cuts to a screen and there's both players drop their gloves at the same time and then they just start like, rock'em sock'em robots until someone gets knocked out.
Well, it's like I think you played this with us, but I know Cass and I did on Dad's old Sega. Remember his WWF game?
Yeah.
Because it would be cool. It's WWF.
Whoa.
That fighting game. That's what that sounds like. The cut to it. Yeah. So that is going to be my transition for that because, as I pointed out before, we are related.
Yep.
Sometimes for good.
What?
A blood relative. So that's a very good Poison album. The song "Unskinny
Nice
Bop"
going,
came
John.
off there.
I'm sorry, but in my brain, the
Way to
first thing
open
that
that
popped, I was
door.
Like, oh my
1991.
God, started.
No, but I was gonna say is because obviously through that, I have grown up my whole life knowing who you are.
Yep.
Most of the time sleeping in the door next to yours. Well, in the room attached to the door. I wasn't just sleeping in the door. But I only say that because something I tend to forget about, but I get reminded from time to time, just in my passing day, is Kinsey. I can blame you for who I am interest-wise in my major because I tend to forget you were kind of the first person I knew who were making videos.
Yeah. I've been in a need for viral attention since I was like 12.
I've noticed, but so have I, so it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember, of course, Dad is going to giggle to himself right now because I'm going to mention spoons. Kinsey made a whole, was it only 2 or 3?
I can't remember. Probably 2.
2 videos about possessed spoons. That I think started out as like a gift, a birthday present for Grandpa Martin's.
That was the second one that you were in with me. The original was just a video from me. Or maybe I'm getting them mixed up. I'm getting What's in My Pillowcase mixed up with that.
That was another one she would do, was What's in My Pillowcase. I remember
You
that.
sound amazing.
They were pretty
It was
fun.
like, but back then was Prime YouTube days, so I was watching like Jenna Marbles, Super
when-
Mac 18. I liked all those, so.
That was probably the best era of YouTube because that really was when people started getting like.
Smosh was still funny.
It was back when there was like it was skits and it was
Yeah.
it would actually get
Yeah.
people get their imagination working. Now everyone just wants to be a Twitch streamer.
No, everything's either
Or a TikTok
like
star.
Fortnite or Mr. Beast.
Yeah, and it's like, go do a funny video.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you be the next Mr. Beast.
Yeah, like I
I find Mr. Beast annoying. I really don't get it. Like,
I don't either.
I've got $60 million and we're gonna walk around and give these people who don't have driver's license Teslas. It's like, I don't care.
I think you're just jealous he didn't give you a Tesla.
I am. But like, yeah,
like I want to be like David Dobrik.
I feel like our generation kind of grew up with that sort of like that YouTube era that was made us kind of like have that imagination of like, oh, we want to make like a funny video that is actually that people are gonna watch and actually think it's funny.
We were that weird bridging gap because we had that like kind of that golden age, but then we also had the introduction of the like video game videos. We were kind of the in between where we still had Jenna Marbles, Smosh, like we still had all of them making content, but then we also had like the originals like Sky Does Minecraft and stuff like making content.
2 big things on YouTube. It was the skits, people, so the Jenna Marbles, Smosh, all those guys, and then you also had the gaming YouTubers, Markiplier, PewDiePie,
Markiplier, that's what I was trying to think
all
of.
of the Minecraft YouTubers.
Who most of which are still like
They're
Markiplier
still-
and PewDiePie. I think
still-
I
they're
forgot about
still-
PewDiePie.
Yeah, I think they're still both like number 1 and 2. Like they're still up there
very,
making
incredibly popular.
more money than I could ever dream of, just for posting a 6-second video of them sneezing.
Yeah.
I think that was a direct attack on Markiplier, unwillingly. But circling back to it, no, because I remember whenever Kinsey would make her videos,
You wanted to?
I wanted to. I also wanted to be in them.
Yeah.
That was like the golden day when she was like, "Yeah, hey, I need you for a second." Like it was fun, and that was the golden era. And I don't think, because anyone who's heard me talk about my major stuff always boil it down to watching Kevin Smith movies and all that. But I like to think that before that, I'm like, oh, I forgot. Before I wanted to make movies, I just wanted to make videos. And for the most part, yeah, Kinsey, you're the reason why I think they got kicked off. Because then even in Peru,
What can I say?
when we were little, we were making stuff on the VHS camera.
Nope, we weren't. You were. When
No,
we
we
were
had the-
really little, Logan would make videos, and one of them was the term.
You would-
Wait, have you
That's it.
told this on here?
The Terminator.
Yeah,
Can I
Logan-
be the one to tell it?
Yeah, you can
Give
tell
me
it.
that dignity. Beforehand, I was gonna say, what was the one, the jewel thief or whatever in
You're
Peru?
braining back a memory, a
But
distant one.
That's what I was saying. Though I thought maybe Kirsten headlined that, but I thought you
Yeah.
did.
Oh, I can't remember what you're saying. I'll have to ask Kirsten about that.
Just when she wore the mustache. But
Yes.
in Louisiana, I was in first grade. I had not seen the Terminator at that point,
But you heard of it?
but I think I saw it in I think Dad may have been
I think
watching
you've
it.
seen the scene.
I saw a single scene in Terminator,
Yeah.
and that's when Arnold had half his face ripped off.
Oh.
It was the metal endoskeleton, and it was the end of T2, and he was getting lowered in the lava.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't know if you were like traumatized and you saw like.
Well,
he was like. cutting
Everyone
his, like,
else was.
Everyone
once
else
they saw Logan's
was.
remake.
I took my own creative liberty. I will
You
say
actually cut your face.
no.
Well, I thought everyone would be like, you're like, you got like a mask on, and you're like, everyone watch this funny VHS I made, and then it's just a video of you like jumping into a fire pit with like your face.
No,
cut.
I wish that's what this was. And so I would like to say my version of the Terminator was a lot better than most of the Terminator sequels have been.
Okay.
Minus one illegal aspect nowadays. And so
not
my version of the
this.
Terminator was he was like because I'd never seen it, so I thought the Terminator was like a ravenous animal almost.
Oh.
Like kind of like escaped, like he was like screaming and crawling around and stuff. And all I knew was that he had the rib face, which I like drew on like a piece of paper and taped it to my face.
There you go. Okay.
And that at one point he fell into lava. So I had Kinsey running camera and throwing wadded up pieces of construction paper at me as fire.
Practical effect.
Yes, very much so. And I was going for realism.
Oh gosh.
So in a whim of genius, as you know, my clothes got hit with fire, I thought they would burn off.
I know where this is going.
The movie went from rated R to rated X.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh god!
And yeah, I still don't know. Is there a copy of that exists?
If it is,
I'm
burn
sure.
it.
Mom,
Get rid of
like
it.
I keep hearing like whispers of it, but I don't know if it's ever
I don't
true.
think Mom would have gotten rid of it, but I don't know.
If we didn't tape over it at some point.
There's
you know,
no
like,
way anyone taped over
I
that.
really.
I may have at one
I
point.
hope y'all
like
taped that
accidentally.
over.
No, you hope we did. Thank
I
you.
don't think any of us need to see that.
No.
No,
No.
we don't. Okay, going back to Kinsey because I'm now realizing time here. This always seems to happen with us.
No.
The other thing you do is you're also a dance coach.
I am, yes.
So you're high school?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay, very cool. So for that, like, I mean, do you like choreograph everything? Do you pick out your music and stuff? Like, what do you get to
I do almost none of that.
do? Okay.
For choreography wise, we do hire people for competition because we do compete. And then for like school games, we have either the girls choreograph or we'll use something else that someone else had done. For music and like costumes, I have my co-coach who's way more creative than me. She does all of that. So I do all the coaching, like
Sharpness.
I don't do all of the coaching, but I do a good portion of like the meanness. And then, she does all the creative stuff.
Yeah.
So did you do dance in high school?
I did. Yep.
You did dance in what, middle school? Like you started. I feel
I mean, we
like
danced at Ballet Arts of Peru when we were little,
right,
and then danced at Brame.
Brain. That's what I was like. Because I
Yeah.
feel like in a lot of my recollection, like I guess when I started actually paying attention in life, yeah, you were always in dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yeah.
Because you're around my family all the time, John. Like Holt says, like Logan said. Oh my, Dad just texted me.
That's. Oh, is he listening live?
Oh,
for
he's
once?
listening live. Yeah.
Well, he has two of his children on.
He said it's totally wrong. The memory.
Of what?
The Terminator said that's not how it happened.
That's exactly
I
what
don't
happened.
want the correct version. The
No,
wrong one
my
was
pieces
bad
of paper
enough.
were thrown at me and my clothes got burned off and my wiener was on camera.
Oh no!
That's the exact recollection. I should know. I was the director, and if you say that's wrong, then since I'm the director, technically it's like a rewrite. So I'm still correct. But yeah. So Dance Coach Cole is. So when is your guys' competition season?
It's December through March.
Okay, I thought it was like winter.
Yep. So our season is July through March.
Cool.
What are the predictions for the season?
I don't really have any. Dance is super subjective, so you can't really. I hope we do well. I'm trying my best to make sure they're prepared, but it's kind of up to the judges. I gotta be nice to everyone when at competitions and suck up to the judges.
That's funny. All right.
Why is that funny?
Huh?
Why is that funny? That's how you
are a very opinionative vocal person.
Yeah.
And
I did have a meltdown at one competition last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a meltdown. I just made sure everyone knew how I felt about a certain situation on my judge score sheet. So, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
And yeah, we're about almost 40 minutes in. So, a little past halfway. So, I say that's about time to break into our segments here, Kinsey. We'd like to thank you for coming on the show here. And then, yeah, feel free to participate throughout. Make
Thank
comments.
you.
Make fun of John and I like you haven't been doing that already. But yeah, so right now we're about halfway through the show. And as everyone knows, I'm staring at a piece of paper right now that says all DJs and specialty shows must do a weather update 30 minutes into every hour. And as everybody also knows, I never do.
It's the most important segment of our entire show.
One would argue it's probably the only one that has any sort of comedic relief in the first episode. And each time we've done it since, I think it's just kept going down the drain. But just like an angry farmer, let's milk this cow dry.
That was awful.
So for today's weather, it's pretty warm in here.
I feel warm.
I like it's pretty toasty. I'd say
Yeah.
probably about like 73, 74.
Yeah, I think you're about
Like,
right.
I mean,
There's no wind blowing through.
can you feel that?
It's more wet than windy.
You're welcome. So there's a light breeze, some misting going on apparently, according to John.
Only on me, though.
Well, listen, every dog has its day. You're that cartoon character with a cloud walking over his head.
You ever seen that clip of
And
that
the cloud's
guy?
just me spitting on you.
You ever seen that clip of that guy walking and he's raining, and then he goes underneath an awning and it's still raining?
Was it Mr.
that.
Bean?
Yes.
Oh, was it really?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I was like, shot in the dark. That sounds like a Mr. Bean skit. It was either him or Chaplin. I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Weather, Kizzy, do you concur?
Yeah.
Feels warm.
It's getting to bad allergy season. I know Logan has bad allergies, so
Well,
I'm sure he's gonna be tough to
I
be
had my
around.
first nosebleed of the
Oh, gosh.
season last week. When
that's
was
because he
George?
picks his nose.
When was George here? That's why your butthole bleeds.
It was homecoming. It was October 22nd.
Yeah, it was like it was like 2 weeks ago.
You disappeared, and I was like, "Where'd you go?" Like, nosebleed.
And I came out with a paper towel sticking in my
That's
nose.
disgusting.
Was it when we were playing Risk or when we were playing Mario Party?
It was one or the other, and you like left and came back. I was like, "What are you jammed in your nose?"
And it was my finger apparently. But yeah, all right. So there we go. Weather outside, if anyone actually cared, it's 52 degrees. It's supposed to be another warm week, which doesn't make any sense.
Weird, but
It's November.
I want to put up my Christmas tree tomorrow.
Why? You have to wait till after Thanksgiving.
I don't know. I'm just in the mood.
That's
Ours is
fair.
already up.
Huh?
I never took it down.
No, there's a difference in ours is already up and ours has never been taken down.
I put it up December, probably like 10th of last year when I was still on campus, and then I just never took it down.
I think just to mess with people, we should take it down, invite everybody over, just for like a day.
Do you think who would notice?
Who would notice? I feel like people would notice because the first thing everybody says when they enter our apartment is, "There's a Christmas tree."
Yeah, yeah.
So it'd be a social experiment.
I walk in and I don't even notice that the Christmas tree is up.
I don't either. I'm like, we just have a green corner.
It's just, yeah, it really is.
Like I was like, I don't know.
I
It's
probably
just
should take it. I'll probably take it down after this actual Christmas this year.
Or do we just take the ornaments off and just have a tree?
A plastic tree?
Yeah.
I think we could probably go get like a real plant and put it in the corner.
Do you know how expensive those are?
And
Still IKEA.
No, John has like
neither
grown up. They're expensive.
Neither you nor I are going to water that.
I would water it every morning. Before I leave, I'll just fill a cup up, dump it, and then drink the rest, and then leave.
This is on public record now. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up next year.
When we don't get a real plant.
When we don't get a real plant, and I'll say this is why.
Here's the thing. There are plenty of free plants out there that I can just take.
We just need a pot.
Yeah.
And we could just use one of our Tupperware.
The campus like, who is stealing all of the tall grass on
We need
campus?
succulents.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to have a good corner.
People got mad at our Christmas tree. All right, but yes, all right, moving on. About some time for news. And as everyone knows, I hate that actual news, so we're gonna do entertainment news. And one of them I'm really excited about. If anyone listening or here in the room is a Friends fan, Matthew Perry, who plays good old Chandler Bing, Miss Chandler Bong, his book dropped today. Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, a memoir. I'm really excited. I heard it's really good. I heard it's really sad at parts because everyone knows Matthew Perry went through horrible addiction, horrible loss to multiple different substances and like mental health stuff. And he addresses it all in the book, but like kudos to him for owning up to it and going forward, you know, like I'm excited to read it. I've heard pretty good things so far.
I don't know if it was a passage from the book or just a part of his interview, but he kind of talked about how like he finds it insane that, you know, people who are from, you know, basically like poverty areas of America, like why he can't, like he has no idea how they would be able to kick any addictions that they have because of the amount of money that he had to spend on all of his, you know, addictions. Like seeing that, it was like, oh wow, that kind of gives you like a good, you know, look at like how tough it is for people with addictions and what they have to go through.
Well, hey, watch season 3 and season 4 of Friends. It's when he was prime addiction. He was a stick. He was just a stick on air with, and then he grew a goatee because I hit it all. But yeah, no. So that dropped today. That's it. I'm excited to read it. I think it should be a good book. And the other one, I'm excited about this. So everyone's probably heard about the drama coming out about James Corden recently, just basically being an awful human being.
I do not like him.
I don't either. Yeah, right. Shocker. Hardly know her. But the most recent thing that came out was that apparently he stole one of Ricky Gervais's jokes. Like on air.
Can't do that.
And stuff. And
I don't know who that
Did
is.
he steal one of Ricky Gervais's jokes while he was interviewing Ricky Gervais?
No, but that would be funny.
something
No,
like
Ricky would
Who's
not.
Ricky?
So Ricky Gervais, you'd probably know him best. He made the British version of The Office. He was like the British Michael Scott.
I don't like British accents, so that doesn't sound like something I would venture into.
He appeared on our version of The Office. There was the one
Oh,
British guy.
yeah.
That's Ricky Gervais, but comedian icon. Like he's done so much. He was controversial 2 years ago. He hosted the Golden Globes.
He used to
and
usually be
ripped.
the one person to do it.
Yeah, and ripped everyone apart. He's like British Norm Macdonald. Like he just gets straight to the
Ronald McDonald?
Norm Macdonald.
He was on SNL. That was best.
And just I don't know, edge of the line jokes.
I think we're brushing past the fact that we said Norm Macdonald, and your sister goes, Ronald McDonald?
I'm not surprised, John. This is what the past 20 years of my life have been.
I don't know who any of these people are.
I know.
All of a sudden you'd
It's
be like,
okay.
You guys see that Norm Macdonald joke? And everyone goes, the guy
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
from McDonald's? And you're like,
Guy
no.
from the Ronald McDonald movies.
Yes, those were cool. The camping one.
Yeah.
I should have watched that this Halloween. Did you ever watch those?
Over John's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so another famous comedian, I'm implying that James Corden is a comedian, but he stole one of his jokes and finally got caught,
Good.
I guess, and That's something I never had respect for. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you retell a joke, like, you can tag it with, oh, it's like the old blah, blah, blah joke.
Yeah. Well, there's the joke, one of the Norm Macdonald jokes that I love.
The neighbor.
The neighbor one.
Which we
won't
cannot
tell-
say
I
on
can't
air.
tell But, like, when I heard it, on a podcast from another comedian who explicitly was like, this is my favorite Norm Macdonald joke.
Yeah,
Because they
or
were all
it's-
talking about, like, if you want to, like, name drop another comedian and kind of tell a little bit of what their joke is, that's fine. But, like, you can't just say the joke and just pretend like it's yours. Like, that's something that Amy Schumer did that everyone...
That's what I was going to point out. It's like, it's the Amy Schumer.
You know?
That's...
And notice how, like, Amy Schumer really is... I mean, in my opinion, she's not
funny.
She's not that funny.
She's
Same
not
with
funny.
how James Corden is not that funny. And shocker, they're both stealing.
I never
jokes.
understood the appeal to James Corden. I think it's because he was fat and British.
Yeah.
And he laughed like a little girl.
He did the car karaoke, and all the people on Facebook were like, "Oh my god, that's so funny."
But I don't like when he sings. The only person that likes when James Corden sings is James Corden.
Yes.
And I will have to add, in my opinion, all this, because I was like, what celebrity would sue a public access college radio station for defamation and libel? It would be James Corden.
Probably.
In my opinion. But, also you starred in Cats, so go lick a fur ball.
I forgot that movie exists.
Yeah. Idris Elba. What a misstep. But yeah, so that's about it for Hollywood news today. I mean, there have been a couple things here and there, like Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson don't talk anymore.
Logan, you're like a month behind.
I saw that, because I saw...
Well, and they're rekindling stuff.
no,
Because
that's...
of her birthday.
Well, that's
Oh
the
my
response I was
God.
going to say, is they said today that those rumors are false.
He sent her a birthday gift. That's true.
They're not talking, though.
But it was a rekindling. I think I keep up more with the Kardashians than you do.
I will take pride in that. Johnny,
Yeah.
it's about time for nosebleeds, don't you think? I think for this segment, I need to just download like a whistle sound effect.
And play it.
Like a sports whistle, not like a slide whistle. Just
Well, I am technically lower than yours. That makes sense.
it's okay. I was impressed. I don't know what that was, but you in the blue shirt and the white hat, kudos to what that was.
I didn't even. I just saw Logan's eyes pop open. I was like, "Oh, someone's doing something."
He slid.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about time for Nosebleeds, our weekly sports segment with our very own co-host taking over here, Mr. Jonathan Page.
Yeah.
Johnny, floor is yours.
Oh boy. Okay. So first off, there's been obviously some things have been going on in the sports world. None of it's been super great. So I'm going to start with some decent news. So the Washington Commanders, who are owned by Dan Snyder, are rumored to being put up for sale by Mr. Dan Snyder.
He hired Capital One today.
He did, and Dan Snyder is one of the worst human beings of all time.
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Thank you.
I think everyone would say that. I mean, if you
Yes, but we can't say it as a statement of fact.
So anyway, he was the guy who owns the Washington Commanders, formerly the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, and was one of the main people who was like, we're never changing the name ever. And then when all of the people were like, you should change the name, he still wouldn't do it until eventually the sponsors were like, we're gonna stop paying money for your team if you don't change the name. And so then they changed it. And even in their apology, they put we value our sponsors and then our fans. So basically, not in that way, but like he just is an awful owner, and he's been terrible, and there's a lot of awful things that happened in his organization on his watch, and it's great that he's potentially selling the team to someone who actually will hopefully be a better person. So
Well, there we go.
there we go. That's probably the good news.
Exchange of hands.
The bad news is,
Oh.
I don't know what happened, but apparently Kanye West said some things that were quite anti-Semitic,
Yes, I don't know if you've seen our whiteboard at home.
and apparently that inspired everybody
Oh, no.
who has anti-Semitic opinions to open their mouth. So Kyrie Irving also said some quite anti-Semitic comments. I will not be repeating them, but he posted them on
Good.
Twitter. And it's so weird that in this day and age, especially when we've been really bringing up stop racism, we need to start understanding each other more, that we're having athletes who have been making comments about we need to start listening to these minorities and these groups of people who have been taken advantage of for a very long time. that he's going to then start spouting stuff like this. And what's interesting is that last year there was a player called Myers Leonard who was playing Call of Duty, and he said a anti-Semitic slur on stream, and within like 24 hours he was fined and then cut and is still not on an NBA team. And for some reason Kyrie Irving has not been, I think he hasn't been fined any money at all. No one, he hasn't been cut, none of that. He said today he's going to donate $500,000 to a couple of, organizations, but it's like you can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle. I mean,
yeah, like
so,
it's out there. It's
out there, and everyone knows what you think now. It's like, what are you gonna do?
I don't think Kyrie is scared of what people think, though.
No, I mean this is the same
which
guy
is
said
probably the bad part.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, this is the same guy who said the Earth is flat. And
yeah,
he doesn't. He said that he has not seen any proof that the Earth is round. So, I mean, I don't take what this guy. I mean. He's a mess. I really don't, and that's another reason why. I mean, I cannot. I mean, I think Steve Nash, who was the coach, is just glad that he got out of Brooklyn, because with all the stuff he's been having to deal with, I mean, I would want.
Well, there we go, Kinsey. Now you have something to tackle with your new PR job in Brooklyn.
Get Kyrie to shut up.
Kyrie is focused on everything but basketball.
Yes, literally everything but basketball. I don't know how anyone could be a fan of him at this point. He used to be this really cool young player in Cleveland. Then he got traded to Boston. It was awesome. But the Celtics were exciting. They weren't just old Celtics basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to Brooklyn, and now he's turning into Alex Jones.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yes.
There's chemicals in the water.
Yeah. He's gonna start saying stuff about frogs on his next press conference after a game. Kyrie, you want to tell us about your, why you took some of those, late game shots that didn't go in? No, but I do want to talk about what the water is doing to the frogs.
They're putting chemicals in the water that turned the freaking frogs gay.
Frogs gay.
Was that Vine? Was that a Vine skit? I mean, it's not a skit. It was a real thing. But I was like, was that a Vine trending or was that TikTok? I want to say it was Vine. I remember it being on Vine.
I believe it was on Vine because the people were posting like weird, videos of frogs after that clip.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. So yeah, it hasn't been a great time for sports. There's been a lot of
This is a
awful
great
things.
world we live in, John.
But hopefully things will turn around. Obviously, people have been calling him out on it, which is good. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get less and less of this as the season goes on. It'd be awful to get more of it, but we'll see what happens. So
yeah, let's hope.
So anyway, I'll move on to my picks.
What's your record?
74-49.
Okay,
I
still over.
I did remarkably well last week. I got a couple wrong, but there were a stretch of games where I got all of them right. And I was like, whoa. I just kept hitting the green. Because I go through and I check the score after all the games are over, and I put red or I put green, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of green.
Well, hey, let me say, if anyone did suddenly decide that they were going to use us to start betting, last week would have been a good week, too.
It would have been a great week.
But also, if you decide to do so, don't.
Yeah,
unless you want
don't do it this week. I'm not very confident for this week.
There we go. Just start listening to John's confidence.
So, anyway, I have Eagles versus Texans. Eagles, I mean, they're still undefeated. I don't think they'll be undefeated for the rest of the year, but they're playing a really bad Texans team. They're probably going to win. Bills versus Jets. Jets are actually competitive this year. They have a pretty good defense, but the Bills are the Bills. They're a juggernaut. They're going to walk through. It might be a close game, but I have a feeling the Bills are probably going to pull that one out. Chargers versus Falcons. Falcons are somehow winning in very weird, strange ways. Last week they won because the Panthers, they threw a Hail Mary. One of the Panthers caught the Hail Mary touchdown, and then he ripped his helmet off and started celebrating, and then that got the field goal called back because you can't celebrate with your helmet off on the field.
But he was off the field, so it's a big scam anyways.
So the kicker then goes out and misses the field goal, and then they go to overtime, and then the Falcons won. So somehow, I mean, who knows? That one's up to debate because the Chargers are, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, I feel like.
Keenan Allen should be back this week, I feel like.
If Keenan Allen is back, that definitely improves their chances. But, I have the Chargers winning this one because they are the better team, so I have a feeling they'll win. So I'm going with the Chargers on that one.
Okay.
Colts versus Patriots. I have lost all faith in the Colts. They're just terrible. They fired their offensive coordinator last week, which means...
I saw the scapegoat situation.
Yeah, they're just like, we got to get rid of someone.
Yeah.
And the offense has been one of the worst things on the team, so let's get rid of the offensive coordinator. It's not like your O-line has been absolutely horrendous and that the QB play has been terrible.
And as everyone knows, he's the one calling the plays.
He's the problem.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Patriots. Last year, the Colts beat the Patriots. It was great, but we'll see. I have a feeling the Patriots will probably pull this one out, just with how much of a mess the Colts have been. Dolphins versus Bears. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. They should be. I mean, the Dolphins are pretty much back up to speed. They're ready to roll, and the Bears have been either amazing or the Bears have been absolutely terrible. It's just one or the other. They don't have a gray area. They're one or the other.
That's fair. Can you give me one? The Bears.
Bears.
Bears. Okay, continue.
Packers versus Lions. This one is interesting because I feel like the Packers. I mean, they've gotten worse as the season has gone on, and the Lions have also been terrible. But I have a feeling the Lions could beat the Packers, and that's why I'm going with the Lions on this one. Okay. Even though they traded away their star tight end to the Vikings, regardless, I'm still going to go with the Lions on this one. Panthers versus Bengals. The Browns beat the Bengals last week. That was one of the picks I got wrong. I thought the Bengals definitely going to win that one. But I think the Bengals bounced back. They were missing Jamar Chase. They're still going to be missing Jamar Chase, which is definitely going to alter their game plan. Mm-hmm. But they're playing the Panthers. I mean, come on. They got to do. If they don't win this one, they need to start looking around the room and be like, okay, something needs to change. Raiders versus Jaguars. The Raiders literally put up 0 points last week.
Oh, nice. I have Derek Carr as my quarterback. So.
Yeah, that was awful if you started any Raiders player. I was playing my brother in fantasy. He started the Raiders kicker, 0 points. So I don't know what to say. I'm going with the Jaguars. I know the Raiders might be mad and ready to come back and prove everyone wrong, but I really think the Jaguars could probably beat them again because the Raiders are just terrible. They're really bad this year. Vikings versus Commanders. I'm going to go with the Vikings. They upgraded over the trade deadline. They're going to look great, I feel like, and the Commanders are awful. They're not a good team. Even they beat the Colts by 1 point, and the Colts are terrible. I mean, come on. So definitely go with the Vikings on that one. They're going to walk all over the Commanders. Seahawks versus Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Cardinals on this one. Might be a little weird, but
we got a disagreement.
Oh, you think the Seahawks are going to win that one?
I think the Seahawks will blow them out. Kyler's not good.
He's not good.
And the Seahawks are a unit right now. They play as one.
They are. They do play as one, which will. But
where is it? It doesn't matter. Kyler's not good enough.
It's at Arizona. Here's the thing. When I was looking at the pick, I did think about picking the Seahawks, but I thought back to the Saints-Cardinals game, and
the Saints aren't good either, so I don't know where this is going.
But the defense played amazing against Andy Dalton. I feel like
Andy Dalton,
even though Geno Smith has played good, I think because DK Metcalf is questionable, he may not be playing in that game. I have a feeling that if the Cardinals defense is
I think he's on my bench right now.
If they're playing on their A game right now, the Cardinals defense can trick Geno Smith into some turnovers, which can lead to the Cardinals winning the game.
I don't think you should ever compare a defense playing against Andy Dalton as that setting them up to being
They're very
good.
Similar quarterbacks, it's just one is way worse than the other. So
yes, 100% correct.
I'm just using it as an example. When you see the Cardinals defense play at its A game, you can see what they can do, and they were playing absolutely amazing in that game. So that's why I'm going with the Cardinals.
We will see.
I feel like the defense could sucker them in. I could very well get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. You are very correct. The Seahawks have been playing as one unit, which is, if you want to win in football, that's the number one way to do it, is just play as a team. Mm-hmm. But I think the Cardinals just have some better talent on defense that can get them the edge. Rams versus Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think Tom Brady is going to play with some divorced dad anger, and he's just going to destroy the Rams. That's another sports story, by the way. Tom and Giselle finalized their divorce. So,
which, I mean, who didn't see that?
Who didn't see that?
I'm not a football.
I thought it was fake at the beginning.
I thought it was fake. I thought they would at least get divorced at the end of the year.
I agree.
But no. So anyway, Buccaneers, Titans versus Chiefs. Chiefs, that's pretty self-explanatory. They're amazing, and the Titans are meh.
Me.
And then Ravens versus Saints. obviously go with the Ravens because the Saints are, like we said, terrible.
I stand by the only Saints player I knew. I didn't realize retired. So
Yeah.
Which was who?
Who do you think?
He was like, he was talking
Oh.
about Drew Brees. I'm like, Drew Brees hasn't played football in like 3 years now. And he's like, what?
yeah, shocker to me. All right, well, there's some picks. We'll check back in next week, see how they ended out, see what your current record is.
Probably not gonna be great.
But hey, you know what? All those fails.
I have a feeling you're
They
gonna
did.
get a text from.
Yeah, because I'll
It's
definitely
gonna be
listen.
like,
Oh, from the
John.
game.
The support is unreal.
I will definitely say something, John, if I'm
I
right.
guarantee it.
Oh no, she'll say something.
I just want to get.
Regardless.
Honestly, out of all these, I just need to get that Seahawks versus Cardinals.
You just need to get
If I
one.
that one right, I will be totally. I get the rest of them wrong.
You're like, but I don't care. He's gonna come on next week and just talk about. That's just gonna be the whole sports segment.
The whole thing. I don't even have picks. It's just. Seahawks
You're like
versus
Logan.
Cardinals.
Today we're not going to do e-news. Today we're just going to do nosebleeds and be like, oh, okay, why? And then just going off. All right, so as we're pushing our end of our time here, we're going to go ahead and speed through our favorite segment. It's my favorite segment.
It's mine too.
It's Florida Man Stories,
Let's go.
where throughout the week, John and I picked out 2 quick headlines. The other person doesn't know it. We read them to each other here, and usually we'll react and commentate, but we haven't done that in a couple of weeks because John and I don't know how to manage our time. So we are going to go ahead and just read them off. Johnny, rapid fire.
So first one I have is, if it will load, Florida man upset over nearby construction work, shoots a vehicle. This guy was just, he was just trying to get some sleep.
Dad broke that light.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get some sleep and was extremely agitated and then started shooting at construction vehicles.
See, no, that's our. We didn't have that far. We had when they were building our neighbor across the street's house. We had one of those little just like construction floodlight looking things shining into our windows like all the time. So my dad went over to try to just like angle it differently. Accidentally broke it.
Your neighbor like somehow finds this like, that's what happened.
Famed NFL player.
And then my other one is Florida man who became famous because of his mugshot was arrested again. So this is for some of you, for people who don't know, this was a man who has a chin strap beard and a filled-in tattoo of the state of Florida right on his forehead.
That's dedication. Right on his floor head.
It basically starts on his forehead and then the peninsula goes down his nose. He got arrested again for getting into a fight and trying to murder someone.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
there you
usually
go.
good reason to.
So that's just what's going on down in Florida.
There we go. Mine is Weight Watchers representative and demonstrator shoplifts cupcakes.
Oh, darn.
I think that it was her like overall secret message to like, see, this is where weight can take you. That's why you need to join Weight Watchers. She was like, wait, watch me steal these cupcakes. And then Florida man stabs tourist despite having no arms.
Whoa.
Who didn't have arms? The Florida man or the tourist?
The Florida man.
Whoa.
So that can mean one or two things. Either mouth, or like, do you remember, this would probably be more of a question for John than Kinsey. Do you remember when you had like a lightsaber as a kid? You like put it between your knees and like
Excuse
fight?
me?
Yeah. And like
You put what between your legs?
a toy
For a
lightsaber.
lightsaber, you
Okay.
just like whip your hips around. And
Yeah,
kinda
you
whack.
put some between
Yeah.
your legs and
I
swing it
wondered,
around. Yeah,
did
that
he-
makes
Was
sense.
it like a Joker situation where he had like a knife on his shoe and was just like running around trying to karate kick people with his feet?
Or maybe if he didn't
That's
have arms,
interesting.
he could have like put it in his pits.
Put
so,
it in the
like, he had
nub.
something.
Oh my god, maybe he had like one of those
Duct tape
Civil War bayonets he just put over his nub and just like ran around with like a sword arm.
Yeah, I wonder if he
that's
just
metal.
duct taped like a machete and just started running
Just
at people.
started doing a spin attack. Caught at the helicopter. All right. Well, for ladies and gentlemen, for another week in the books, that is about time for us today. That was live from Letterman. Kinsey, thank you for driving all the way up here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Anything you would like to promote, say out there? Any message you want to put out?
No, I will say I think you guys need a soundboard like on Parks and Rec. What's the show?
Like a sound effect? Yeah.
yeah, what's the show called?
Oh, what was it?
I
It was like
can't-
something in the.
It's
I don't know if I can say it on air. Can I say? I don't know if I can say it.
I
on
feel like
air.
if you have to question it, the answer is no.
I don't want to.
Remember, you can say hell, damn, and ass.
Well, it's not a swear word. It's a hygiene product.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad word. It's like douche in the morning.
Oh, yeah, you can
Something
say
in
that.
the douche.
Yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Kroll plays the douche.
That
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, no, we do need a sound effect board, but we don't have the budget for that. 'cause
You
we don't
can
have
literally
the
just
budget.
pull one up on your computer, I'm sure.
That's fair.
Well, we'll look into that.
We'll expand in our future. Thank you for the note, Kinsey.
You're welcome.
It'll be processed.
Okay.
We'll send it through our HR people. But before we close out today's broadcast, it's time for a joke.
Oh boy.
Kinsey, because I know you don't listen to the show.
I don't.
Throughout the week, I write a joke at some point.
That you come up with your own.
Yeah, I come up with on my own.
Okay.
And I'm sure if these jokes actually exist before, great minds think alike. But today's came to me, so sitting there eating food. Do you know what an owl's favorite medical show is?
No.
I think I know.
Doctor Who.
I knew it. That's
Doctor
not even a
Who.
medical
Doctor
show.
Who. Well, no, but like Doctor and then Who and then
Like Dr. Oz?
no, like Kinsey, there's a TV show called Doctor Who.
Is that the one
It's
about...
the time travel one that I used to
Oh,
watch.
I thought that...
British
Never mind.
But because it's Doctor, and I don't know if you know this.
Doctor Who, the stupid show you used to watch. It's so stupid.
And owls,
Remember now.
And-
No, John, I hated that show. It made no sense.
and owls say who. So and Doctor is a medical position.
But Doctor Who, the show's not medical, is it?
No, Kinsey,
We get it. We know.
it's not
We
this
know.
conflict. Okay, there's a medical position called a doctor, correct?
Yeah.
What sound do owls make, Kinsey?
Yeah, Who, but like, why would that be their favorite medical show?
Because it's Doctor Who. Because owls say who.
It was a good attempt,
I
but
think what you could have done was you could have said, instead of favorite medical show, you could have said, what is a doctor's... Who is a doctor's
what's an
favorite-
owl doctor's favorite show?
You could have said, what is an owl's favorite...
What's the owl MD's favorite show?
What is an owl's favorite TV character? And, you'd be like,
And then say the little
Doctor
box that they
Who.
transformed in.
What?
The time
Doctor Who,
traveler.
they had the little box that they got
There's a
in.
time machine transformed in. This isn't Power Rangers.
Transformed
He
to a
jumps in the
different
he jumps in the
generation.
TARDIS, and then Optimus Prime's like, let's go.
Come on, Doctor.
Come on, Doctor.
All right, well, with that shaking of my head to side, transforms, and you could say like transports.
I don't know that many words, so.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm the one in the family in the radio talking business.
It's true.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you a week from today right here on WCRD 91.3, Always Better Radio. Have a safe evening, and we'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.